Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. Welcome back to the Content Inc. podcast. Now, if you've read any of my stuff or listened to this podcast for any number of episodes, you know I talk about two things as being more critical than any other two things you could do as a content creator. The first is having a workable content tilt, an area of real differentiation where you have a chance to stand out as an expert in your field, and this usually involves choosing an underserved niche or presenting your content in a very unique way. But the second is all about consistency. When I do presentations, sometimes I talk about being a former print newspaper subscriber. I know, go figure. And one time when I went out in the morning to get the paper and it wasn't there and I was devastated. Now that morning, I went online and found a different source and then ended up canceling the paper and I never went back. The point is, if we set content delivery expectations with our audience and then miss for whatever reason, our audience may leave and never come back to us. And it's hard enough to build an audience as it is without just losing them because we don't deliver properly. I can tell you firsthand that taking a leave of absence from this Content Inc. podcast, as well as Robert Rose and my This Old Marketing podcast, significantly hurt our audience numbers. It took us 2 years plus to get the numbers back to where they were after a year's absence. So we talk about setting editorial calendars, working ahead, hiring contractors to make sure we always deliver when we say we're going to deliver. I still believe this, but I'd like to take another angle for just a second. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there have been quite a few prominent YouTubers and streamers who've come out publicly recently saying that they needed a break. For example, just last month, Emaine Pokimane Anis, a popular content creator and one of the most recognizable faces on Twitch, said they were taking a break from streaming. They say in a tweet, "I've been feeling in need of a mental reset and some time to focus on myself/my life offline. In my opinion, proper breaks are essential to one's health/career longevity, and I'm so grateful for the support y'all have shown me over the years. Thanks for putting me in a position where I'm able to take off time like this." Now, I don't think this is unreasonable. I think content creators need breaks to recharge and not go into deep content burnout. In Content Inc., the book, second edition, game theory YouTube star Matthew Patrick says this: "Some content creators have been going for a weekly video or maybe 7 weekly videos without missing a beat for the better part of 8, 9, 10 plus years, even ourselves. Game Theory's been running as a show for 8 years and we've rarely missed a week. And it's exhausting when each episode takes hundreds of hours to produce. So what you've seen over the last 2 years is a lot of open and honest talk about creator burnout. About, hey, I hopped on this content treadmill and I need a break and I'm out of ideas or I'm spent." So back to Joe here. What's the solution? Well, a solution may be breaking your content into series or seasons. For example, Mint podcast creator Adam Levy does all his podcasts in seasons or series. Right now he's on season 6. In this way, he can batch content and then take off the necessary time when he feels he should. Subscribers know that each season is a thing unto itself, so they set their own expectations for that. This is much like what Stranger Things does or Ted Lasso. The seasons give the creator flexibility. This podcast episode is number 355. So I've been doing 355 of these things. But it could be Season 10, Episode 2, or something like that. Same thing goes for e-newsletters or streams. Now, in this way, we stay consistent simply by setting different expectations with our audience. And a possible, really positive side result here, seasons are often easier to sell sponsorships for. Instead of selling a 4-pack of podcast episodes, you could sell X number of sponsors into a season. we've just experimented with this idea, an idea, by the way, very soon coming to this podcast stream, and it worked really, really well. So, are you struggling with content burnout, or do you feel the onset? Maybe seasons or series are the answer you've been looking for. Good luck. Hi, this is Joe. First of all, thanks again for listening to the Content Inc. podcast. At the Tilt, we're really trying to get more people to listen to this podcast as well as our This Old Marketing podcast, and reviews really, really help. So we love a review of the Content Inc. podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Google, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you do, I will send you $20 in Tilt coin. And all you have to do is just email us by going to contentinc.io with a link to your review, and I'll shoot the $20 straight off to you. Thanks again for all your support.